All right. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Kenny. Happy October to you, brother.
Good morning.
So we solicit for questions online from your membership who may not be able to make the meeting or have concerns, or maybe someone in the family, et cetera, and try and cobble those together and ask you questions. I'm just going to start firing away. How's that?
Okay, let's do it.
Right out of the gate here. So we got one from Instagram, I believe. It says, how are we allowing agency workers who have a higher pay scale than your apprentices who are out busting our butt to make you look good? I might as well take a layoff and get hired through a temp agency.
Well, you know, as everybody knows, we have our CBA that we have to go by that dictates what either party can do. Article 4.07 in our agreement talks about temporary workers. So a contractor can go out and hire a temporary worker after they've had a job call for 48 hours. And keep in mind, until 2017, our apprentices hadn't had a raise in 14 years. So in 2017, when we went into contract negotiations, we increased the pay over the first year apprentices through the fifth year apprentices, $8.60 over all five classifications. And then recently, we also just increased the first and second years in an MOU. So the money, we realized that we got to pay our apprentices more. They need more money. But I think one of the things to fix that would be also to put the apprentices on a percentage. That's, you know, the Department of Labor, per our apprenticeship standards, requires us to have them on a percentage. We need to have our apprentices on a set percentage so they get raises every year. Nobody should have to go 14 years without getting a raise.
Right.
You know, and if a temporary agency, if they're paying a temp worker with 3 months experience 17, and our apprentices are only getting 14, then are the contractors on board with us organizing? That's the question we have to ask ourselves, because I would say at first glance, no, because they understand and know that temp worker is not going to take a pay cut for $3 to come work and do the same job he's doing for a union contractor.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they're paying him 17 with 3 months experience, and that's not right to our apprentices. People that's loyal to you, you're going to pay them less money than these temp workers you bring in. But the whole temp worker issue is in our agreement. So, you know, it's in Article 4.07. So there's some things to think about there. But to answer the question, no, we don't ever want you to actually go work and be a temp worker, because we're more than a job here. We're a brotherhood and a sisterhood. That's where we are.
With a career track.
With a career. You 4 retirements. I mean, if you're contemplating leaving for, you know, $2 or $3 and you're just getting into this, then maybe you're not the right fit.
Right. Makes sense. All right. So another tough one, man. What is the local doing to keep me from getting fired because I don't want to be forced to take a vaccination? And this vaccination thing I've seen come up in a bunch of different areas. So what's your thought on that?
God, yeah, they're coming hard today, buddy.
Yeah.
The vaccinations is a touchy subject.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things that's, you know, it's tough to deal with. But I have to say, I said at the union meeting, inform the members to let them know that if the end user or the customer are requiring us to be vaccinated, we can't save your job. If the Home Depots, the UPSs, the Lowe's, you know, all these places we work, the Coca-Colas, if they're saying that we have to be vaccinated to step on their property, we can't save your job. Now, if the contractor's requiring it, we can work and try to get you to a job that doesn't require vaccination. But the local union cannot save your job if the end user, the customer, is saying to step on their property, you have to be vaccinated. I know a lot of people is going to hating to hear this, but we got to be 100% honest and transparent and straightforward about this.
Right.
You know, there's one large company that's got 220,000 employees, and they give them a deadline. If you're not vaccinated by such and such date, you're no longer going to be employed.
Yeah.
Well, what makes it so tough is it puts decisions and choices on our members that they have to make
Yeah.
that normally you shouldn't have to make.
Is
But
it a situation where they don't necessarily have to be vaccinated, but they have to test every few days or whatever?
they have
Like
to
what-
offer once a week a negative test if you're not vaccinated. But that's on federal jobs. That's if you're working on a federal property.
Okay.
But and still at the end of, there's some other things you can do. You know, there's a religious exemption, or if your doctor writes you a letter and says, hey, it's going to be more dangerous for you to get the vaccine than it would to get the vaccine. But that still doesn't mean that you're going to be able to keep your job. That end user may say, okay, well, here, you know, we still don't want you on our property. But that's an avenue you can take, but it's not going to guarantee your employment.
Yeah.
You know, we would have to lean back on that contractor that you're working for and say, hey, y'all got somewhere else you can move this brother or sister, and we need to relocate them to a job where you don't have to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
But, you know, I get it. You know, I've heard a bunch of brothers and sisters tell me, you know, that they're not going to live in fear. Well, at least you'll be living.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is serious. There's over 600,000 Americans have passed away because this virus. It's real.
Yeah.
You know, it's real. We've lost some brothers here in the local, and it's a sad situation to when you see the families and the kids and the wives left behind.
Yeah.
You know, when all you would have had to do is get a vaccination.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sympathetic to, you know, people not wanting to be told what to do. That is a little scary when, you know, but I also understand that, you know, it's the employer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have their
The end users, the main.
The
Our
end
employers
user.
that work with us. We get to
Right.
work with them.
Right.
But the actual customer,
Yeah.
that's the one where we don't have any control.
And is it do they adhere to the 100 employees statute where if you have more than 100 employees, you have to be vaccinated? Is that?
That's federal property or a subcontractor working for the federal government or a federal employee.
Okay. All right. Good. Last question. Hey, I recently joined the IBEW and I'm trying to represent. I noticed that a lot of stuff on the website is out of stock or not available in my size. So I was wondering if it's any time soon if there would be a new drop on the website in terms of merchandise, I think.
Yeah.
What he's talking about.
Okay, so we're working on getting new merchandise to the store. Everything that we sell in that store, the purpose of it is to raise money for our welfare fund. So last year, we were fortunate enough as a brotherhood and as a local union to be able to pay out somewhere around $86,000 in our welfare money to brothers and sisters that needed it during COVID. So that drains your balance down.
Right.
Well, when you're working with the online store, the overhead, the shipping, everything it takes to run that store, we're seeing that we're having to change and we're trying to figure out the best way to still offer the service, because we have a lot of brothers and sisters that they just want to order online, and that's where we are today in society.
Right.
And we want to keep that.
Yeah.
But we're trying to now do a cost analysis and figure out which avenue to go that's going to generate the most money for our welfare fund.
Yeah.
We're doing decent. I think we've raised, over $5,000 this year. It's over through the store, but it should be more. We'd like to get that at this point. I mean, we're in October, 10th month. We've been doing it since the beginning of the year, but you do have to keep new content. So we're actually working on some designs now.
I saw one yesterday on the Halloween.
The Halloween,
yeah,
yep.
that's
That's
cool.
going to be, that's here. We have them here at the local. Mm-hmm. So if you want those shirts, let us know. We can ship them out as well, but they will be on the store here they should be next week up on the website at the store where you can order them.
And so the other events like the golf tournament, which is coming up October 9th, postponed from the September date, that as well as
That raises money
Right.
for the welfare fund. So those events, the bass tournament, the golf tournament, those are the way we fund the welfare fund, other than donations. That's the way that money gets to our brothers and sisters that need it when they're down. That's what funds that account. So that's why we're always asking everybody, please participate. Even if you're not a golfer, you can come out and enjoy. It's a good time. Come out and enjoy some brotherhood and sisterhood. See people that you hadn't seen in years. I think we're up to 118 or 120 people now. So, I mean, it's going to be a good tournament. Come out and just have fun with us. You know, there'll be lunch provided, cool raffles that are all donated. So it's going to be a good time. And at the end of the day, that's why we do these events, is to raise money for the welfare fund, but also so we can spend time together.
Yeah.
You know, so we can all get outside of work and hang out together and, you know, and truly enjoy what the brotherhood and sisterhood has to offer.
Yeah, right on. Looking forward to that. Anything else before we wrap up with Coffee with Kenny that you've got on your mind that you want to share with the brotherhood and sisterhood? Or
No, just as always, I mean, we appreciate y'all. I can't thank you enough for everything that you do every day, you know, out there in the field representing us. Congratulations to the new fifth-year apprentices that's turning out this whole week. We've had fifth-year classes turning out, so that's
awesome.
Always good to get to talk to them. We got new journeymen coming, so everybody take care of you brothers out there. If you find out they're new journeymen, or go buy them lunch and celebrate and take care of them. So
that's awesome.
yeah, it's cool.
Well, thank you, man, very much for joining us. Another edition of Coffee with Kenny in the Books.
Glad to be here.